Thanks for joining me, Leah Silvestri Franklin, for another episode of Lead Loving Life. Lead a life you love, lead a business you love, lead a community you love. We all deserve that and more. I'm coming to you this week. I am recording this episode late in the schedule, if you will. It's the last week in January, and it's ugly out in the world. It is painful and challenging and so many other things. So I've really felt challenged to record something that is meaningful and impactful in a time like this. So, how do we move forward when everywhere we turn, it feels like something is on fire? People are being harmed and killed. People are standing up. People are protesting, people are writing letters and calling their legislators. It is such a time of both and. It is such a time of us needing to show up in ways that we've never been called to show up before in our lifetimes, most of us. And it comes down to a couple of different things for me as a leader, as a coach, as a consultant, as a human. And I believe that we all have our responsibilities and our opportunities to make change where we can, when we can. And at the same time, we have a responsibility to ourselves, to our families, to our communities, to our clients, to our customers. And in order to make all of those things happen, even in the smallest way, because there's no way we can do all of that with 100% in any day, let alone right now with all of the heaviness that envelops us. The first and most important thing that we can do for ourselves and everyone else is to be present. And that's difficult. We have to find ways in which we can be present that are supportive and self-caring and self-nurturing, remembering that we cannot abandon ourselves. And it's really easy to do when we are flooded with images and words and sounds that are triggering, are painful, are not what we want to see. So we have to navigate that. We have to manage our own exposure to that in ways that don't trigger our nervous systems. Presence is the first thing that we have to do, and that is by being present in our body first and foremost. Staying out of the spiraling of our mind as much as possible. The fear spiral, the guilt spiral, the shame spiral, all of the spirals that come up in women, particularly, and even more so for those of us that are leaders and employers and entrepreneurs. So I am going to just chat a little bit about that today. And I work with clients in a model, both business and individual and group. The foundation, as always, and you've heard me say this before, soul and strategy for impact. And it's a cycle of presence, purpose, and power for expanding your impact. And that's what we want, right? So today I am going to talk about presence as it relates to general presence in our bodies and in our lives. So how do we do that? First of all, as I mentioned before, we do the best that we can to stay out of our heads and into those and out of those scary places that sometimes take us to a way of being that is not present and is not helpful. in any situation. And then remembering who we are, what's our why? Why are we here? How do we take care of ourselves amidst all of the pain and suffering and chaos that surrounds us? And the most important thing that we can do, one of them, is to stay grounded in our routines, especially the morning. I know that for myself and clients that I've been working with, the mornings can be difficult when we wake up to another day of uncertainty and a need to get up and go, right? For all of the things. So whatever your morning ritual or routine is, and if you don't have one, now's a great time to start one, even a little short one. I encourage you to double down on that if you can, and at the very least be consistent with it so that you're getting up, stretching, movement. It's journaling, gratitude writing, it's prayer, it's meditation, it's reflection, and always ground it in gratitude. Even if it is something so simple, gratitude for having heat in the winter, gratitude for having food in the refrigerator. Sometimes it comes down to the basics and remembering what we have to be grateful for helps anchor us in our bodies and helps anchor us in our belief and reconnect us to our purpose by being present in our lives. And I encourage you to do what you need to do to get your energy going in the morning. If it's music in the car or in the shower and dancing around the house, which I'm a big fan of all of those things, by the way, and it gets your energy up. And that is critical for getting up and going in the morning. The higher our energy is as we start, the better our energy can remain throughout the day as we manage it. Morning routine, ritual, joy, where you can find it, connecting into what you know lifts you up, even just a little bit. Connecting to those people that can just give you a word or two to help you remember that we're all human together, that you have people, that you're not alone. It can be just a text sometimes, reach out to someone. Someone will reach out to you back. People are reaching out all over everywhere. I know that I'm encouraging my clients to do that, right? Is to just connect with others, even if it's just a short text or voice note. It is important to know that there are people that are there for you. And the presence of mind to keep chopping wood and carrying water. And I've mentioned this in previous episodes as well. One foot in front of the other on some days is all we can do, and that is okay. Sometimes we can't do that. Sometimes we end up on the floor, on the couch, in a ball, in the fetal position. And that's okay too, as long as we don't stay there. As long as we reach out, as long as we know that there are people we can talk to and trust. So I'm going to remind you of the be present motto this episode. I know how difficult things are right now, and I really just wanted to take a few minutes to connect with you and let you know that and remind you that being purposeful and intentional about how you move through your days makes a difference. Sometimes it makes all of the difference when we know we have something that needs to get done. We have someone who needs to be tended. We have something that needs to be recorded or emailed or clients to be served or a job that needs to be attended. So I'm going to ask that you are moving forward in that way, to the best of your ability, one step at a time, chopping wood, carrying water, and knowing that both things can be true in your life. And both things in this example being, yes, it's very hard right now. And it's hard to see and be a part of what's going on. And we need to be present for ourselves and for our people. And to do that, we have to start with ourselves. Because if we don't, then we're not going to be good for ourselves or anybody else. I have a lot of women entrepreneurs that listen to this podcast, and I encourage you to be the example to the best of your ability right now. Your clients, your team, your staff, other leaders who are in companies and organizations, running community organizations, being present for your community. If there's no need to pretend, there's no need to spiritually bypass this or false positivity this or any of that. It's about being real and about being present and knowing that we are having a shared experience. So owning that and supporting each other and showing up for each other and ourselves. The both and concept is a tricky one in a society that teaches us black or white, yes or no, this or that. And I talked about this in an episode last year in the summer, episode 12, and it's say yes to both and. So I'll link that in the show notes for you. It really is about trying to get out of the binary way of looking at things. Like there's so much gray and there's so much opportunity for both. And I encourage that also as part of this presence, this part of reflecting and knowing that circling back to ourselves in a holistic way every day throughout the day is what we need today and every day, especially right now. Don't lose sight of how you're feeling. Don't let yourself fall into the negativity spiral. If you feel it happening, use your tools of mindset, use your tools of redirection in your thinking, use your friends, use your community, use your family to connect with and reconnect to a different cycle. Interrupt the negativity spiral, interrupt the fear spiral. As long as we can continue to do that, we can keep ourselves from that negativity and anxiety pit that we can get into. And if we do get into that, please don't feel alone and reach out so that you're not alone, even if you just have a text conversation with someone. Okay, so I really want to thank you for showing up and listening. I want to thank you for the messages that I get. I want to thank you for sharing and following and subscribing to this podcast because it's so important that we as women, we as leaders, we as people who want to live a life we love in all of the ways, stay connected to each other and support each other. And this podcast is one small way that we do that. So I want to thank you and encourage you to keep on moving, keep on being present for yourself, first and foremost, using the tools that you know that serve you and work for you. And I will be back soon with another episode. And I want to wish you all so much love and remind you that you deserve to lead a life that you absolutely love. Take care, my beautiful souls.